Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. This episode, we're going to be checking out a piece by the established 3D artist known as Huleeb. This episode, we're going to be talking about mixed media expression. We're going to talk about the result of roiling energy, and we're also going to talk about the BLeU series by JTO. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this work, we're really met with a lone subject kind of coasting on this red cloud here, this kind of set blue background. It certainly catches the eye. What's likely going to catch your eye first is this striking red, right? A very high attention color. Red is always a very visceral color, whether it's kind of blood, whether it's far in the distance, it's always going to catch your eye. Red is a very visceral color. And so what you'll see here, of course, our subject placed in center. You're not going to miss him here. This brilliant kind of dark on light contrast. Of course, you have that kind of lighter background, the perfect background to pop out on top of that. So there's also a bit of kind of off placement from center. It's not perfect, so this kind of allows the viewer to interact with the work a bit deeper. And so in the realm of color, we note this kind of close complementary scheme. Of course, they're not exact opposites, but they don't harmonize perfectly as well either. They are kind of fighting for the viewer's attention. So we see that here, of course, the red really pops against this kind of blue, and they're both fighting for the viewer's attention here. This brilliant contrast, you're not going to miss it, especially this red. We talked about our subject popping out against that background, but the red does it even more brilliantly. So incredibly important when we're looking at the work here. And so one of the most defining elements of the work before us is going to be texture, right? Whether we're looking at this kind of dark blue background, whether we're looking at any type of smoke, cloud, or mist, you're going to get a sense of that texture, right? This feels delicate, but even in the background, when we're talking about this, it feels a bit harsher, right? So that's all incredibly important. It also adds to a bit of realism to the work at hand, right? You look at this, it does look quite realistic, although, you don't see red clouds or anything like that, but the texture and the kind of form itself is quite realistic. So that does immerse us within the scene at hand quite brilliantly. And so what you'll see here, of course, is this kind of sense of roiling energy throughout the work at hand. And that really, a lot of that can be a testament to this kind of smoke, mist, or clouds in the center region there. So whenever you have clouds, of course, constant curves here, it's going to give a sense of implied motion, a sense of roiling energy, and you're not going to miss that here. And so what you'll see here, this background, it's quite striking, right? This flood of blue, you're not going to miss it. But what this actually is a piece entitled BLeU by JTO, and this was actually distributed on Super Rare. So taking a look at that, we see that here, right? You have this kind of dark blue background. We see that perfect copy. But what Huleeb does, and I think this is quite brilliant, even a testament to the kind of artistic style and the artistic, I guess, literacy of Huleeb, what you'll see here is he creates this kind of darker trim that, of course, emphasizes the scene at hand. It focuses us within this kind of framed area here. So not only did he take the original image, but he even added a bit of variation within that to kind of blend within the work at hand. And so JTO, I believe, is a digital illustrator. I'm not 100% on that. I was able to find the Instagram page and the Super Rare page, by the way. This was distributed. Originally, it was sold as an NFT of Super Rare, so someone is holding that. But then he sold it as a CC0, which is kind of a creative license. So you could take this and actually use it in your own works here. So we see the results here, incredibly, incredibly creative. And he even encouraged people to do this as well. This is actually quite brilliant, in my opinion, of course. If you create a work like this and then you inspire all these artists to then take your original work and add on top of that, then your work is the foundation to so many other works. So I think that's incredibly interesting here. And so our subject here is quite interesting, right? We have this kind of iconic subject that Huleeb keeps dealing with quite a bit. I have a quick reference so y'all can kind of see who or what this subject is. It's hard to say for sure. We have this kind of hollow head, almost always wearing a suit of some kind. Of course, incredibly iconic here. If you look through pretty much all of Huleeb's works, especially in the past year, you'll see a lot of this character. So that's quite brilliant. It surely catches my eye. Although I don't like the most dark aesthetics, I do respect how he's taking this image, kind of creating his own signature out of that. So when you see this subject, you will know it's Huleeb. There's no doubt about that. So what's interesting about our subject is kind of coasting on this red cloud, right? That's really interesting. It's hard to say who or what or why our subject is here, right? But there is this feeling of kind of the lone explorer that I get. He's kind of through this void. It's hard to say where our subject is going or why they're going there, but there's no doubt that the subject is traveling. So really interesting work here. I hope y'all enjoyed today. If y'all did go check out the original artist, I'm also curious, what do y'all see when you view this and how do you feel when you view this? Two very important questions. Absolutely love JTO using that kind of blue background as an inspiration for many other works. There's a lot of artistic awareness to be found within that, so I really hope y'all enjoyed today. And so this piece is a mixed media piece. It originated as a 3D render in Blender, and then that was then taken, of course, we talked about that background, that was then edited in Adobe Photoshop to be placed on the blue background here. So we see an incredible result of mixed media expression, incredibly unique, and it's an absolute blessing to be able to study that today. So I really hope y'all enjoyed. And we talked about so many different things from roiling, energy, we talked about NFTs and creative licenses, we talked about, kind of the Lone Explorer, we talked about the color here, the texture, so many different things we hit on today. I truly hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, go check out the original artist, Huleeb, always doing some really good stuff in the medium of 3D art, and now, of course, mixed media expression as well. So I truly hope y'all enjoyed. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.